that you could ever ask somebody. You've been there. Do you know how to ask questions, by the way, while you people get in your Bibles right there? Do you know how to ask questions? I mean, I know you're used to the digital world, but let's do a quick exercise. Look to the person next to you, and if you do not know their name, introduce yourself. Say, hi, my name is, fill in the blank with your name, shake their hand. It's like, and they will say their name back because, that's the polite thing to say. My name is. And then you can ask that person, like, hey, where do you live? Don't go like, duh, I live in Lexington. Well, of course, we all live in Lexington. But tell them, it's like, I live on 278 Belmead Drive. Don't say that because that's where I live. So you can tell them where you live. You're welcome. It's also on Shelby next, so anytime. You can ask them, it's like, hey, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is blue. Like Superman blue. What'd you call that blue? Royal blue. Yes. Hey, on my other church in Georgia, before I came here, one of the people in the church asked me my favorite color. So what is your favorite color? It's like royal blue. And the next day I came to my office, and one wall in my office was royal blue. And I was like, oh, this was the best day of my life. I was like, this is awesome. I was like, I didn't know why he was asking me my favorite color, but they did, and they painted a whole wall royal blue. It was awesome. But anyway, so let me ask you this. As friends, right, you need to have friends that push each other. For better or for worse, all friends will push us one way or another. But here's the thing about good friends. Good friends know that striving toward better things sometimes includes tough and uncomfortable conversations. Let me say that again. Good friends, they strive knowing that to be somewhere better, sometimes they have to have some tough, uncomfortable conversations. As I was thinking about this, another way to think about that is that sometimes, right, if you're going to guide your friend to a better place, sometimes you need that yank on the collar. I remember I watched this video, and I called Noah, and he gave me this video right there. Yank on the collar right there. It's like, bruh, no, not a good place. And then he goes like, focus. I don't know what you said, Brady. I said, focus. Isn't that what you said? Good. Because that's what I thought you said. I said, no, bro, you got to go places. You got to be better. Good friends will do that sometimes. They'll yank you through the color, and they'll look you straight in the face and go, focus, bro. We got a game to win, right? And our game of life, right, the places that we're going, it's serving Jesus, right? It's being better for Jesus. It's knowing Him more. It's understanding His grace. It's understanding His love. So sometimes we're going to need a yank on the color so that we can be refocused and repurposed, right? Last week, it's not last week, because last week we did something else. Last time we got together, Micah started talking about the places in our friendships. This sounds like a fun theory, but frequently when we are on our way to good friendship, we sometimes get stuck in the in-between places. It's either because of a conflict, either because of distance, or perhaps miscommunication, right? We end up in this in-between. I don't know if we're BFFs yet. I don't know if we just become acquaintances, right? There's always that weird space. And then friendship seems simple when things are fun, but when things get heavy, right? Friendships and friends will show their true colors. The best kind of friends, they will help each other to be the best versions of themselves as we go into this journey together. Let me say that again, because the best kind of friends, Christian friends, will help each other to be the best versions of themselves. And the best version of ourselves is looking more and more like Jesus every day. It's very important. If we're not helping each other to look more like Jesus every day, and if our friends are not helping us to look more like Jesus every day, we need to check our friendships. And we need to check and see, are these people guiding me toward Jesus, or are these people guiding me away from Jesus, right? So last time, we talked about the passage of Jesus feeding the 5,000 people, right? That's pretty awesome. I don't know about you. If you ever fed 5,000, we fed 300 and something football players in here, and it was like, holy cow, these boys can eat, right? Jesus fed 5,000. Now, background here, okay? In our society, everybody is like counted. Guys get counted, girls get counted, kids sometimes get counted, students get counted. But back in those days, only the dudes get counted, only the men. So if you're at a certain age and below, they don't carry you there, right? So they only count the dudes, the fathers, the old man like me, right? So when it says 5,000, it was just the dudes, not counting the ladies that were there, not counting the students that were there, not counting the other people. So that's pretty awesome, right? And right after they did that amazing feat of feeding 5,000 people plus, when they finished with the crowd, right, Jesus sent his friends and said, bros, I'm kind of tired. I need to recharge. I'm going to go talk with my Father. You guys go ahead of me, right? And that's where we pick up in Matthew chapter 14, verses 22, and then we're going to read through verses 33. Me and Max were going to practice this, but I don't know if it's going to work. So there you go. You got to put me the sound and the thunder. All right. Oh, it's dark. Okay. You got to allow them to be able to read. Because here's the thing. Immediately after Jesus, and this is scripture, immediately after this, Jesus, instead of insisting with his disciples to go with him, he sends them into the boat to cross to the other side of the lake. And here's them trying to cross to the other side of the lake. And after sending the people home, he went into the hills by himself to pray. While he was praying, night fell while he was there alone. Meanwhile, his disciples were in trouble from afar, far away from land. For strong winds has risen, and they were fighting every wave.
Better off wet and cold on land and drowned and dead out here.
When the disciples saw something, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Jesus came toward them walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cry out, "It is a ghost."
John, keep rowing! What are you doing? Did anybody just see that? Over there! I don't see anything! What are we looking for?
But Jesus spoke to them at once. He said, "Don't be afraid." He said, "Take courage, I am here." Then Peter called him, "Lord, if it's you, really you, tell me to come to you walking on water."
Are you crazy? Don't be afraid! It's me! Jesus? Impossible! How is this the second most incredible thing I've seen today? This surprises you? Did you learn nothing from today? If it is you, command me to come to you on the water. Simon, no! Are you out of your mind? If you
And
are
Jesus says,
who
"Yes,
you say you
come."
are, bid me to step out of this boat. You have the faith to walk on this water? command the water to hold me, I will walk on it.
If I call you to me, you will step out in faith?
Yes!
Then why are you upset?
Why are you chasing after Gentiles when your own people have problems right here?
That's the extra
When
part
your
they
own
have to
person
add.
has problems.
So
I've been
Peter
right
went
here in
over the
front of
side
you,
of the boat
believing
and
in
then
you.
walked on
But you're
water
breaking
toward
up
Jesus.
Isn't it the Decapolis?
But when he saw the strong wind and the waves, he was terrified,
Then come to me.
and he began to sink.
You,
And he said,
weary
"Save
and
me,
heavy
Lord,"
laden,
he shouted.
I will give you rest. Simon, no.
Don't be foolish, Simon.
Simon, wait! Simon! No! Simon!
What are you doing? Simon, Simon, where are you
What
going?
are you doing, Simon? Stop!
Simon, Simon, Simon!
What are you doing?
Simon!
Do you still have faith?
Faith hasn't been my problem. I gave up everything to follow you. But you're healing total strangers.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who gives and takes away.
Why do you think I allowed trials?
I don't know.
They prove the genuineness of your faith. They strengthen you. This is strengthening you. And Eden. Keep your eyes on me.
Who comforts us in our grief and binds up the wounds of the brokenhearted. Who mourns with us for the life that could not be.
Sinking. Lord, send me. I'm sinking.
In the shadow of your wings do we take refuge.
Then Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him, and he said to him, "You have so little faith. Why do you doubt me? Why do you doubt me?" There's so much happening right here that it's kind of hard to wrap our minds around, right? Jesus' friends were in trouble when all of a sudden Jesus comes walking in the water, and they thought he was a ghost, which, it would probably be my first guess too. I never seen somebody walk in water before, but then in the middle of this wildness that's happened, Jesus did something even more strange. He accepted a challenge from one of his friends, Peter. And in order to prove it was really him standing there before them, Peter asked, "If it's you, allow me to come to you. Allow me to walk on water too and come to you." In that moment, Peter had all the faith he needed to accomplish all things. And he stepped out of the boat. He stepped onto the water, and the water was firm, and he started walking, but all of a sudden, he started to flounder. And then Jesus challenged him with this question. He wasn't being judgmental toward his friend. He was just being honest and direct. And he said this to Peter, "Why did you doubt?" There was a moment where Peter had all the faith to keep him above the water, but when he started to think about all that was happening around him, he started to sink. When Peter gave some grief, when like I read this and I give Peter some grief because, he's doing really something awesome. This is the coolest thing I ever seen somebody do, and all of a sudden he blows it and he lost it, right? But then in the midst of that, I have to remember that Peter bravely chose to get out of their boat in the first place. And he stepped into the waters toward Jesus, and he let his guard down for a minute. But in the end, he ended up meeting Jesus' challenge of friendship. Here's the thing. In the world, the word challenge is usually a bad thing, right? It's usually like, oh, you're going to challenge me? I'll see you after school, right? Let's meet in the back, right? But in the Bible, in our faith, it's always an invitation to grow. I don't know if you paid attention on the video, but then he said, this moment that you're going through is for your growth. And he said on the video, it's for yours and your wife's growth. You have to watch The Chosen to figure out what's going on with his wife. It's a clean show. I recommend it. But through the challenges, right, friends can help us be more like Jesus while we grow our friendship, while we grow together in faith. Challenges can lead us to frustration sometimes, but challenges become an invitation to break through. As we saw with Peter and Jesus, Peter had a breakthrough in his faith. In that moment where Jesus brought him out of the water and said, why did you doubt? Before then, he's like, I have all the faith, until he starts singing, gloop, gloop, gloop. And then Jesus is like, why'd you doubt? At first, Peter challenged Jesus to prove his identity by displaying his power. Then Jesus took the opportunity to grow closer to Peter and to issue this challenge, his own challenge to Peter to demonstrate his faith. Jesus always looking for ways to grow closer to us. When Jesus knew Peter couldn't walk on water on his own, he offered his help, right? Even if we did not have the faith before, in the challenge, Jesus is going to give us all we need. These challenges were to build from a level of trust in their friendship, and in our friendship with God, they should build a level of trust. They already had spent so much time on the road, traveling from place to place, and they have moments that they were open and honest with one another, and they knew each other. Many days in these trips together, they have these small moments and small opportunities where Jesus and Peter have these moments to trust one another. But in that moment that Peter steps out of the boat, their friendship continued to grow and deepen. It was brought to a new level. In the midst of his challenge, in the midst of his, I'm drowning, help me, Lord, Peter received a deepening in his faith. Jesus helped Peter by meeting him in his challenge. When we start to trust each other and we start to trust God, we open ourselves to the calling that sometimes can be scary, that sometimes can be something that is different and then not something that is easy for us, but it will bring us closer to Jesus. And then Peter followed and trusted his friends, and he trusted his friendships with Jesus, and ended up walking on water, an impossible achievement. When we accept a challenge from Jesus, we open ourselves to a new and incredible life. Let me say that again, because this is huge. When you accept the challenge that Jesus has given you, okay, we open ourselves to a new and incredible life. In the book of Hebrews, it's a letter that's written to a group of Christians who are being punished for what they believe. Kind of similar to what we're going on right now, right? If you don't watch the news, there was this guy, he stood up for his faith and somebody murdered him. Well, assassinated, murder, semantics, right? He was standing up for his faith. So we live in a time in our lives right now that's kind of scary to be a Christian. It's like, what if it's me? What if I become the next guy, right? The book of Hebrews was written to Christians that were being punished for their beliefs as well. Some were even sent to prison for what they believed. This suffering made some of the followers even walk away from Jesus and abandon their faith. Like Peter, the church was in the middle of a storm, and their doubts and their fears were making them sink beneath the waves. The author of the letter to this group of Christians inspired them to strengthen their community. Get together, have friends, stick together. And here's how it reads on Hebrews 10, verse 24. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. Let us think of ways to motivate one another, to help one another, to challenge one another to do acts of love and good works. We have the power to point others toward Jesus. This is the kind of friend that we need to be to other people, and this is the kind of friends that we need to have near and around us. When we are challenged, we need to have friends that can be friends who spur others to keep on going even when it's tough. You're not alone. We're on this together. This is not a call to create obstacles in your friendship, but rather encourage one another toward love, toward good deeds, and to closeness with Jesus when possible. When we challenge one another with a purpose, our friendships grow stronger. I'm going to say it once again, because that's our big idea. When we challenge each other for this purpose of growth, our friendships grow stronger. When it comes to bring more love and goodness and kindness into the world, friends aren't afraid to challenge one another. We're not afraid to challenge one another. But how do I do this? Maybe you're hearing this talk of confrontation with somebody else and challenging somebody, and you're just thinking, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be confrontational. Maybe you're thinking, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings by challenging them. I don't want to get into a fight. Maybe there's another group of you, they're just like, oh, yeah, all right, let's go. You gave me green light. I'm going to spit out. I was going to use a slang, but I'm not going to do it. Spit out the truth. There's nothing wrong with that. Both are responsible, understandable, but both will hinder our opportunity if we're just spitting out truth without love. Let's look in a few ways that we can learn to challenge our friends. And if you're taking notes, here's a few ways. Choose to care. Choose to care. When you challenge a friend in need, it has to come to a place of genuine care for them. It needs to come from a place of love. Not just like, I'm going to say this to you because you need to hear this. If you start that way, just like, me, you're already wrong. Care. Start with care first. Start with love. It's like, I want my friend to grow. I want my friend to walk closer. So I have to consider, challenge them to improve their standing with Jesus, to improve their standing with one another, right? Not just by pushing them down, but by bringing them up. We have to choose to care. We have to choose to be honest. When Peter started to sink, Jesus asked a direct question in order to understand and to challenge him, right? Why do you doubt? When you challenge a friend, what are some ways that you can care and have empathy toward the situation? What is going on in your life? We have to care. Remember, be honest about it. If you can't address it, don't address it. How can you be clear, not judgy, right? How can you be clear with the choices? Is it coming from a genuine perspective, concern about the way that they're loving others and they're loving themselves? If it is, you have to be honest. Don't stay silent. We may choose to stay silent in order to keep the peace. We don't want to rock the boat. We just want to be on this. But a friend that is a friend that wants you to grow, it will rock the boat sometimes. It will speak truth in kindness and in love. It will not sit silent on the sidelines and letting you sink by yourself. A good friend, as Jesus demonstrated for us, will reach down toward us and it'll bring us out of our storm. It will bring us out of our struggle because we're called to build one another up, not to tear one another down. Don't be silent. Challenge those who are close to you to grow toward love, to grow toward kindness. It may cause a momentary frustration right there. It might cause a momentary hurt, but it may be the only way that they will notice the things that they're doing. How can you challenge your friends this week? Talk about it. Talk with them, not about them. There's a big difference if you're talking about people when you're talking with people. You're not doing this for the gossip session or just to bash somebody or just to like get the new scoop is for you to help your friend grow. So talk with them. When you notice that you may need to say something in friendship, be careful that you don't spread your concerns to others before you tell your friend. People who follow Jesus, we are encouraged to encourage others. To encourage others in love, to encourage others in kindness. Remember to take these steps to heart before asking of them to somebody else. I want to challenge you with this. Who is somebody in your life right now that you could be challenging? Challenging them to grow. Challenging them to walk closer to Christ. Challenging them to be better. Be open to hearing how you make others feel and how you might encourage others toward the thoughtfulness and care. And in the same way that Jesus did with Peter, they felt comfortable in their friendship and they asked questions and they act in faith. We can build relationships of trust and growth. How many of you like Disney movies? This is a classic. Some of you were not alive when this movie was released. Oh my gosh. Toy Story has one of the greatest friendship stories out there. They were thought to going on this epic road trip, right? Actually, it wasn't really a road trip. They just went to their neighbor yard and they got stuck there as they're trying to go somewhere. And then when Buzz is going through this struggle, he had a friend and me. No, I'm just kidding. That's in Woody. Just watch this little clip real quick.
Hey, Buzz! Hey, get over here and see if you can get this toolbox off me. Oh, come on, Buzz. Buzz, I can't do this without you. I need your help.
I can't help. I can't help anyone.
Well, sure you can, Buzz. You can get me out of here, and then I'll get that rocket off you, and we'll make a break for Andy's house.
Andy's house, Sid's house. What's the difference?
Oh, Buzz, you've had a big fall. You must not be thinking clearly.
No, Woody. For the first time, I am thinking clearly. You were right all along. I'm not a space ranger. I'm just a toy, a stupid, little, insignificant toy.
Whoa, hey, wait a minute. Being a toy is a lot better than being a space ranger.
Yeah, right.
No, it is. Look, over in that house is a kid who thinks you are the greatest, and it's not because you're a space ranger, pal. It's because you're a toy. You are his toy.
But why would Andy want me?
Why would Andy want you? Look at you. You're a Buzz Lightyear. Any other toy would give up his moving parts just to be you. You've got wings. You glow in the dark. You talk. Your helmet does that whoosh thing. You are a cool toy. As a matter of fact, you're too cool. I mean, what chance does a toy like me have against a Buzz Lightyear action figure? All I can do is...
There's a snake in my boots.
Why would Andy ever want to play with me when he's got you? I'm the one that should be strapped to that rocket.
When Buzz needed his friend the most, Woody sought the opportunity to challenge his friends. His friend says, dude, you are the toy, right? And it had a pep talk. He realized what Buzz was going through and then talked him out. And then, though Woody and Buzz are just toys, right? But it shows there's a simple way for us to challenge one another in a good way. We call each other's out. We point out the good things in others instead of pointing what is the best, the worst stuff about them. Build them up. Build them up. Because as they did this, and then if you follow the Toy Story story, you see that those two became inseparable friends and they grew together. This is the challenging that we need from somebody, from a good friend. This is the challenging that you need to give if you are a good friend. Challenging someone, it isn't about correcting or perfecting them, as we see with Woody, Buzz, Jesus, and Peter. Sometimes challenging means showing your friend how you see them and who they are made to be. Do you have friends that you could be speaking? Do you have friends that you could be bringing, building them up? Are you encouraging your friends? Are you being the encourager? Let me give you this challenge. Think about your friendships. Who is one friend that you wish you could speak truth into their lives? Who's that one friend that you could bring to the altar and you can say, God, give me the wisdom, give me the words so that I can challenge my friend. Give me the wisdom and the words so that I can become a better friend. Would you do that? Would you take a moment, bring that name to the front? There's nothing special about this. This is just wood and stone, but it's when we come and then we lay those things at the feet of Jesus, and then we show our dependence upon Him, that He acts into our lives, and we make this an altar. Take a moment. Pray for that one friend, would you? When we are in trustworthy, growing relationships, we can see that friends aren't afraid to challenge one another. Ask God to help you challenge your friends to a deeper walk. Sometimes you have to challenge your friends to come to church more often. You have to challenge your friends to bring their Bibles. Those are simple challenges. They all matter as we build one another. Lift that one name for that one friend. And if you have the friend that's bringing you to church, man, a friend that is bringing you closer to Jesus, thank God for them right now. So thank you, Jesus, for this friend. We're on this together. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our meeting together, but encouraging one another, especially now that the day of His return is drawing near. Dear God, I pray, O Lord, that you encourage us and you help us, O Lord, to continue to challenge our friends, to be challenged by our friends. Lord, we're so thankful for the friends you already gave us. Oh, Lord, help us. Help us to have the right words, the right attitude, so that we can motivate one another of acts of love, to do the good works that you call us to do. Help us, oh God, to be better friends, so that your name be glorified through our friendships. Lord, we love you and we praise you. And these things, oh Lord, we ask in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus. Amen. You're dismissed.
Put my faith in Jesus. I put my trust in God. All of the ground is sinking sand. So I'm standing on the rock, 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 rock. Yeah, I'm standing on the rock, 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 rock. Yeah, I'm standing on the rock of Jesus, God of Judah. That's not all trust in God. All of the ground is sinking.